So keep in mind that it's kind of hard to keep up with these reactions because we're not covering all the molecules, okay? But ETC, there's one reactant that we haven't covered, which comes into the mitochondria, which is O2. And then what pops up? What does the mitochondria do? A lot. It's the powerhouse. It's going to do a lot of energy. 34 ATPs are made. Yes, a lot. And what else? What's the last product that we haven't covered? There is that, but we're not going to. So give me the products of cellular respiration again. Water. Good job. So we need oxygen, and we're going to make approximately 34 ATP, and water is like, it's like byproduct, they call it, okay? So the reason I put approximately is because sometimes the production is not fully successful. That is the ultimate goal, and it all depends on the amount of hydrogen ions that are going into this system, which you're not even going to learn, but there is a system. And all that comes from those molecules that I'm not covering that are right here. If you notice in the diagrams that I've provided you, which I've kind of taken out specific parts everywhere actually, just to not confuse you. But these NADs turn into NADHs. All those H's go into the electron transport chain. It's called electron transport because the hydrogen ions go into that chain, and the same thing with the FADs turning into FADH, but we're not going to worry about that, okay? It's just too much for you guys. Later, when you go to AP Bio, you'll learn it. All right. So this is a review. Yes. Is a review. All right. Think before you talk. Who could give me the cellular respiration reaction from start to finish? Or any reactant. Let's do that. Who can give me any reactant of cellular respiration? Glucose. Reactant. Oxygen. What do glucose and oxygen combined make? In 3 steps. That process is called cellular respiration. What is made? ATP, water, CO2. When we started this unit and I gave you the photosynthesis reaction, I said, you need to know this because everything is based on that. Now, in these 3 steps, there's only really, besides carbon dioxide, water, glucose, ATP, and oxygen, there's one more molecule you have to know, and it's pyruvate. That's it, okay? So, how does glycolysis start? What do you need? 2 ATP and glucose. Good. 2 ATP and glucose start glycolysis. You need energy to break the glucose molecule. And glycolysis, by definition, is the breaking of glucose. What is made? Who could tell me? 4 ATP and pyruvates. Good job. So now you see this pyruvate? You know that that's going to be the starting molecule right here. You see it? If pyruvate is made during glycolysis, it's going to be the start of Krebs, right? Okay. What is the products of Krebs? How many? 2 ATP. What else? CO2. Good job. Now, what is the reactant of ETC? No, the reactant. Reactant. ATP is never going to be a reactant in anywhere except glycolysis. No. O2. What is made? Water. And what else? 34 ATPs. Good job. So who could remind me what we talked about happens after glycolysis if oxygen is present? What do we call that? Aerobic respiration. And aerobic respiration has 2 steps. What are they? Krebs and ETC, okay? So we left glycolysis, and there's an oxygen molecule saying, come, come. Where were we if glycolysis was happening? What part of in the cytoplasm? And if oxygen is present, we're going to go into the mitochondria, okay? If oxygen is not present, then we go through anaerobic respiration, and we stay in the cytoplasm. Oxygen is not present. We stay in the cytoplasm, and we go through a process called anaerobic respiration, which is also known as fermentation. Has anybody ever heard of the word fermentation? What do you think of when something fermentates? What are we making? Nobody knows? When something is fermentating, look right here. What are we making?
More.
Alcohol. Literally, yeast and bacteria will fermentate fruit, right? And alcohol will be made. And also a byproduct is carbon dioxide. In humans, however, something happens to you. When do you not have oxygen in your cells, usually? When you're holding your breath. Or when what else? Or when you have lack of oxygen. Exercising. Has anybody taken an aerobics class and the teacher tells you breathe, or if you work out with a trainer, they remind you to breathe? What happens when you stop breathing? Anybody know? No, I don't mean stop altogether. I mean while you're working out.
You lose brain cells.
You get a headache. You get dizzy.
Cramps. You get what's called lactic acid fermentation, which is the buildup of an acid in your muscles that causes that burning, aching feeling. So whenever you're working out and you start to cramp up or your muscles start to burn, take 7 deep breaths and you're going to see how fast you recover. I promise you, because you're getting oxygen to your body. The reactant, by the way, for all of this is pyruvate. It's still the product of glycolysis, and that reacts in humans to make lactic acid, and in yeast or bacteria to make alcohol and CO2. Who could tell me what the total net yield of glycolysis and anaerobic respiration is? Who could tell me what the total net yield is if you do glycolysis plus anaerobic respiration? What's the total net yield of glycolysis? 2. Did we make any ATPs? So the total net is 2. Good job.